Hey data geeks, welcome back to Data Structure, your go-to channel for all things data. Today we are diving into the future of cars with an exciting Power BI dashboard built using EV cars dataset. Now electric vehicles are the future and we'll show you how to create a futuristic looking dashboard from scratch. Along the way, I'll share some valuable tips and tricks and we'll also tackle some essential DAX calculations. So stay tuned till the end. If you want to follow along, all the materials are in the description. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support is a huge motivation for us to keep creating great content like this. So, without further ado, let's head on to our dataset and see what our dataset looks like. So, so this is the dataset, and as you can see, it is all clustered up. So let's do a simple trick to expand all the cells. So to do that, we will first click on Control A, which will select all the dataset. So after doing that, press on Alt, then H, O, and I. Once you do that, you will see that all the cells will expand and you can see the data set more clearly. So now let's look at our data set. What are the essential data that we have? So first column is VIN number, then we have county. So obviously this data set of US, so we have county, then we have city, state, postal code, model year of the car, the company, the manufacturer, then we have the model name followed by electric vehicle type. Now in electric vehicle type, let's see what kind of electric vehicle types we have. So in electric vehicle type, we have battery electric vehicle or BEV and plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or PHEV. Okay, then next we have clean alternative fuel vehicle or CAFB eligibility. So this is the main differentiating criteria. First we have clean alternative fuel vehicle eligible, then we have eligibility unknown, and finally not eligible due to low battery range. Okay, next we have the electric range followed by base MSRP, which is mostly, yeah, we have some values here. Okay, next we have legislative district, then DOL vehicle location, and electric utility followed by 2020 census tract. Okay, so we have a lot of information with us and it looks like the data is clean and we cannot point any missing values up until now, but let's head on to our Power BI and see what else we can see. So this is our Power BI canvas where we will be designing our dashboard, futuristic looking dashboard here. And before we load the data, let's do some basic formatting. Let's head over to our format your report page. And the only settings that I'm going to do is change the canvas a little bit. So height, I will change it to 800 and width to 1400. So, and the alignment will be middle. So we have a clean canvas ready for us for our visualization. Now let's head over and import our data set. So to import our data set, let's click on get data and text or CSV data and provide the path where we have saved our file. So let's click on the file and click on open. Once you do that, it will import the data set into the Power BI and it will take just a couple of seconds. And as you can see, our data set is ready. So we won't be doing any transformation, although to show, I'll just click on the transform data and let you see how the data set looks like. So just a couple of seconds and this is the data set, and everything that we saw earlier in the Excel file is available here with us. And as you can see that it is 100% valid without any error or empty cell, and I think each and every column is same without any empty cell. So it is a fairly good data set and we have with us. So let's head over and let's begin our data analysis or dashboard creation. So first thing first, what we need to do in this is we have to design these KPIs. So to do that, we have to find out the total vehicles, the average range, or the total BEV vehicles and total PHEV vehicles. So I think the data is still loading, just a couple of seconds. Yes, the data is loaded here. And if you click on here, you can see that every column is present here. So to design the KPI, we will have to introduce some measures. So let's go ahead and take care of the measures first, and then we will start on designing our data set, our dashboard. So the first measure that we have to insert is the total vehicles. So let's head on and click on new measure. So when you right click on the data, you can see that there is a new measure option available here. Click on the new measure and it will open a DAX calculation or DAX formula here, and all you have to do is provide a formula. So let's see total vehicles, sorry, vehicles. Total vehicles is nothing but the sum of all the vehicles that we have in our data set. Now to find out the total number of vehicles, we do not have any columns suggesting how many vehicles are there. So basically what we will do is do a count function, to find all the number of vehicles. Now, so let's write the formula. So we will do a distinct count, and we will do DOL by vehicle ID, because I think vehicle ID is the unique vehicle ID, and I think that we will get the appropriate, or we will get the most accurate result if we do a count distinct of the DOL vehicle ID. So let's click on this. Let's close the bracket and click on commit. So once you do that, it will take some time, and it will give us the total number of vehicles. So here you can see a new measure has been created with total vehicles. Next thing that we are going to do is the average range. Now to find the average range, we already have a electric range column here. So only thing that we have to do is find the average. So let's see how we can do that in the DAX calculation. Let's click on here and go to new measure. And once you do that, it will open a new DAX calculation column. So let's rename this and give it a average range. Average range is equal to average of electric range. Nice and simple. Let's commit, and you can see the average range measure has been created. So next thing that we are going to create is total BEV vehicle and total PHEV vehicles. Now here it is something kind of complicated, because we do not have different columns. We do not have different columns of how many BEV vehicles or how many PHEV vehicles available with us. So we have only single columns, and we have to filter the data and do a count to find out how many battery electric vehicles or BEV vehicles are there and how many PHEV vehicles are there. So it is a bit complicated formula, but I'll try to explain it as simple as possible. So let's start. Right click, go to new measures, and the first thing that we will find is the total BEV vehicles. Okay, so now let's understand what we are going to do, and then we will write the formula. So what we are going to do is find out in this column how many vehicles are there which are battery electric vehicles, and we will write another formula and find out how many vehicles are there which are plug-in hybrid electric vehicles or PHEV vehicles. So let's start with our formula. So let's write the DAX calculation starting with calculate. So after that, what we have to find out is the count of total BEV vehicles. So let's write count of, and you can see all the columns that we have in our data set. So let's select the electric vehicle type, and then we will close this bracket, enter comma, and now we have to give a filter. So filter. So what we want to filter is the electric vehicle population data, and then we have to apply the column that we are going to filter and give the condition. So we are going to select the electric vehicle population and in that electric vehicle type, and give it a condition that if that is equal to this battery electric vehicle. Let's copy this and paste it here, and let's close the brackets. So this is the formula to find out the total BEV vehicles. If you want, you can just pause the video right now and you can write the formula on your own. Now let's hit on commit and see whether the electric vehicle total BEV vehicle measure is created. Okay, so it's taking its time, but here you can see that the total electric BEV vehicles has been created, this one. Okay, so similarly we will move on and create the next measure, new measure, which will be total PHEV vehicles. So total PHEV vehicles. So it's a similar formula Let me explain it one more time. So we will write calculate and count. We want electric vehicle type, and we will filter filter the electric vehicle population data, and in this data set we will select the electric vehicle type, and if it is equal to, let's select the second type of electric vehicle, which is plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or PHEV. So let's copy paste, and we are done. Click on commit, and it will create a new measure with total PHEV vehicles. So we are done with the measures, and we are ready to start with our dashboard design. Let's see how we can do that. Now in this dashboard, you can see that I have included a placeholder here which will carry our topic or our title for our data set. And so let's see how we can insert that. We will just go to insert and go to shapes. Click on this rounded rectangular shape and expand it to the whole page. Let's adjust the height a little bit, and I think we are done. So all that is left is formatting. Let's go to shape, rounded rectangular. If you want, you can increase the rounded rectangular corners also. I don't want rotation. Let's select on style. Let's change the color. So I'll give this a cool bluish green color. Okay, this color is okay. Next, I don't want borders here. Let's switch off the borders, and let's click on text. So let's insert a text, and that will be electric vehicle data analysis. Okay, so we have entered the electric vehicle data analysis here. Let's change the format to treebox ms and increase the size. Yeah, that will do. Let's give it a bold, and as you can see, we have insert a deep blue color for our font here. So let's go ahead and click on font, and let's give this color. Okay, now it's okay. Horizontal alignment is in the middle, and I think we are done with the font as well. Let's head over to shadow, and let's give it a shadow as well, which will be a little bit, which will make this placeholder or this title bar a little bit more prominent. I will give shadow as this. Okay, so let's give this shadow. Now let's reduce the transparency to 15 and blur to 5. Okay, so it's done, and I know it might not look like much, but let's format our background a little bit. So I'll give with this background a nice black color and reduce the transparency to 10. Okay, so now when you have inserted the background color, it will give a nice prominent look to the title bar. So now as you can see, I have also inserted a logo of an electric vehicle here. So I have downloaded it from the net, and I'll include that logo in the description also. You can use that as well. Let's click on image and import the here. So you can see that image has been imported. All you have to do is uh, shape it according to the place available with you and place it nice and clean here. Okay, so you can see that we have inserted the image as well with the title, and now we can move on with the KPIs as well. So to import the KPIs or include the KPI card, we have a KPI here as well. Here, select on the card new here, and let's start by adding the data here, starting with the total vehicles. Then we will add the average range here, followed by the total BEV vehicles, and finally the total PHEV vehicles. Now you can see that PHEV vehicles is not showing here because we need to do some formatting. Let's head over to our format and go to layout. Now layout will have the single row or grid. Let's select the grid type, cards, max rows shown is 2 and max columns is 2. This will give a 2 by 2 matrix or 2 by 2 grid. Now we will size this up. Okay, sorry, I forgot, but we will do this differently. We will do this a single row, and max card shown is 4. So now that we have done this, we will size this up and place it nice and clean here. Okay, so we are not done with this yet because we still have some formatting to do. So let's do a rough placement here and go to our formatting. So next we will head over to our callout values, and we will do some formatting here. So for this dashboard I will be using this font always, and let's reduce the size to, now let's reduce the size to 20. Okay, keep it bold and change the color to this blue. So I don't want to yet adjust the transparency. Let's click on the horizontal alignment and click on center. This way we have a center alignment for all the KPIs. Next we will go to labels. Labels are the total vehicle average range, total PEV vehicles and total PHEV vehicles. For this we will be using the same format and increase the size to say 14 or 15 is fine. Let's give it a bold color and change the color to this blue. Okay, transparency is okay, and let's reduce the size to 0. I don't want any size, or let's just keep size to 4. Yes. Now let's head over to next formatting. We have the formatting layout done. Reference label, there are no reference labels, and let's head over to cards. So padding is normal, alignment is okay, background we should switch off the background, or we will provide a different background for this cards. Okay, so for the background color we will choose this color, and you can see it is done. Transparency is 0%. Let's increase the transparency to 10, just because we want to show the values clearly. Okay, so border is on, we should switch off the borders, and glow is on. Let's do some formatting in glow. Yes, that is correct. And let's click on the accent bar. Now we will change the accent bar color as well. We will change it to this color and increase the width. Okay, so I'll increase the width to 10. Now we want is some more formatting. Let's switch on the shadows as well. It will give us a depth to the KPIs, and let's see if any other. Okay, so I'll change the shape to rounded rectangle shape, and the rounded corners, let's decrease it to 20, and we are done. Let's head over to general and see if any more formatting is required. Now in general also we will do some formatting. Let's head over to effects and do the switch of the background. So I don't need any visual borders, and I don't need any shadows, and I think we are done with this. Okay, so we are done with the KPIs. Let's adjust the KPIs a little bit. So we have space with us where we will include our image. And after being done with the KPI, let's head over to our next chart. So for our next chart, we will be creating this donut chart displaying the total vehicles by CAFP. Let's see how we can do that. Before going to create the charts, I want to show you something. Okay, so before that I have made a mistake. So in this chart, you can see the accent bar is in the bottom. So we will just do a quick change here with the KPIs. Let's go to the formatting and let's go to cards. And here in the accent bar, I will change this to bottom. Okay, and one more thing I want to do is, okay, that's okay. Let's head over to our next chart. So to make the donut chart, we will have to take the CAFB vehicles. Now, if you remember, the CAFB vehicles have such large name, but in this donut chart you can see that CFB not eligible, CFB unknown, and CFB eligible have been given name. So basically what we did is we reduced the name of those of the values in this column. So for example, clean alternative fuel vehicle eligible. So instead of giving this space consuming name, we can just say it as CAFB eligible. So to do that, we have to provide some alias. Now in Tableau, we have an option to provide alias within the sheet as well, but in Power BI, we don't have any kind of option like that. So what we will do is create a new column and save the values which are here with the new name. So to do that, let's see how we can do. So basically what we have to do is right click on this and create a new column. Now once you do that, it will open a DAX calculation box right here. Just give it a moment, it's working. And I think it will take some time, and once you will, yes. So now the new column DAX calculation is created. So what we will do is name it as CAFB alias. Okay. Now to input values here, we will write a query which will go through all the cell values here, and once it locates clean alternate fuel vehicle eligible, it will give it a name CAFB eligible. Similarly, if it locates that the cell value is showing not eligible due to low battery range, I want it to show it as CAFB not eligible. And similarly, eligibility unknown as battery range has not been researched, I want to show this as CAFB unknown. So let's see what we can write in this formula. So to do that, we will use the switch function. Switch. Now in this, you will see that it requires an expression. Now expression is nothing but the column name that we have to perform our DAX calculation on. So let's see what the column number is. So the column number is this one, clean alternative fuel vehicle. Let's select this. Now it wants value comma result 1. So let's give this a comma, and within inverted commas, let's copy this and paste it here, and followed by another comma, and now we have to give it the result. So I want Power BI to go through the column, and once it locates clean alternative fuel vehicle eligible, I want the new column to show it as CAFV eligible. Similarly, I want Power BI to go through the column again, and if it locates this one, I want it to show it as CAFB not eligible. And finally, if it encounters this value, I want it to show it as CAFB unknown. That's it. Now I will provide another requirement, which is the else. So basically I want to say that if it encounters this value, I want it to show it as CFB eligible. If it is not eligible, I want to show it as CFB not eligible, and if the eligibility unknown, then I want to show it CFB unknown. Or else if it encounters none of those, I want it to show it the value which is already there. So I will just give electric vehicle clean alternative fuel column name and close the bracket. So that's it. This is a DAX calculation. You can pause the video at this point of time if you need the time to write this formula. So once you click on the commit, it will create a new column named CFB alias. So let's see if it is done. Yes, the CFB alias is done. So we are ready to create our donut chart. So to create the donut chart, let's click on the donut chart option and let's populate it with the values. Now here it wants, here we have to add the legend. So in legend, I will add the new alias that I have created, CAFB alias, and in values, I will add the total vehicles. That's it. And we have created a donut chart. So it's simple, and as you can see, the CFB alias is also showing CAFB unknown, CAFB eligible, and CAFB not eligible. So this one is far better than these long names that we have in our data set. So let's go move ahead and do some formatting. Let's start with the legends. I want the legends on so that it is known which slice it stands for, which legend. Okay, let's edit the text. I want it to give a different format. Let's increase the size to 12, keep it bold, and I want the color to be this one. Okay, now let's move ahead to the title. Okay, I don't want the title. Now let's head over to the slices and do some formatting with the slice. So as you can see, I have given these three colors to the slice. So I'll give this slice this color, and this color is fine for eligible. And for this, I will just add a this color. Okay, spacing inner radius, I'll increase the inner radius a little bit. Let's say 70% is fine. Detail labels is on, and options. Okay, now here I have options to add either the values or the data values and percentage of total. Let's select the percentage of totals as well. Okay, now let's head over to format the values, increase the size to let's say 12, make it bold, and change the color to this color. Okay, now we are done. Okay, let's rotate it a little bit. 15 degree is fine. Let's head over to our general. Let's edit the title, change the font, make it bold, change the color to this. Horizontal alignment is in the middle. Okay, subtitle, I don't want the subtitle. Spacing, space between labels, and so let's effects, switch off the background. Visual borders are off. Okay, visual borders are off. Click on the shadow, change the color of the shadow to this color, and rounded corners, let's keep it to 10. Okay, so we are almost done. Let's see if anything is remaining. So let's see if anything is remaining. Okay, it's looking similar, but if you notice, there is one thing that is different about this chart is that all the alias or all the slice names are with the values here. So let's see how we can do that. So to do that, we will head over to our visualization and go to detail label. Now in here, I will just change it to category and data value. This way, we will show the category name as well as the data value with the slices as well. So once we have added this, we now don't need these legends. So let's go ahead and switch off the legends. So our donut chart is ready and we can place it nice and clean here. Okay, so I think our donut chart is done. Let's see if any more formatting is required. It's looking okay, and we can move ahead with the map chart. So here I want to add a map of the place where the total sales have taken place. So this map shows every place or every states in United States, and the dots on the states show the amount of sales that has taken place in this states. So let's see how we can do that. To add, use this map option. We will click on this and you can see, okay, sorry, so click here and now click on this and you will see that map uh, has been added. So in this map we will add the location. Location will be provided by this state column, and you can see that the whole of America or North American map is highlighted with bubbles. Now we have to add data to the bubble, and the this bubble size option will show us which state is using the electric vehicles more. So in this bubble size option, we will add the total vehicle column, and uh, this will give us the desired result. So you can see that this is the map of United States, and all these bubbles are showing which state is using how much, or which state is contributing to the most to the use of electric vehicles. Now let's do some formatting with this. Let's go to format, map, and in this style I want to use the dark option. So because we are using a dark background as well, so I'm using the dark option to match the background of our sheet. So let's go ahead, let's click on control. So I want the don't want the auto zoom, I want the zoom button. This will give us a navigation option which will help us in navigating through the map. Okay, it is done. Now let's move ahead. Let's go to bubbles, and you can do some formatting here as well. So I don't need any changes with the bubbles. Colors are okay and category labels are off. Let's go ahead, go to general. Title is on. Let's just change the title a little bit. STAT. Just I just change the state into uppercase. Change the font. Let it be okay. Let's change the text color to this one, and let's head over to effects. Switch off the background. Visual border is on. Change the color to this and rounded corners to 10, and switch on the shadow. Change the color of the shadow to this color, which will give a depth to the chart. And I think we are done. Okay, so we are done with the map chart as well. And let's size this and place it here. So here I'm just changing the slides a little bit to adjust to the sizes. So let's go ahead and make our next chart. So our next chart is this line chart displaying the total vehicles by model year. Let's see how we can do. It's fairly simple. Let's go ahead and select the line chart, and we have to add the x-axis and y-axis data. Now here in x-axis we have the date or the time period, and in the y-axis we have the total vehicles. So in the x-axis, let's add the date. So we will add the model year in the x-axis, and in the y-axis we will add the total vehicles. So that's it. It will give us a nice clean line chart. Let's increase the size a little bit and do some formatting here as well. Now let's go to the formatting option. Start with the x-axis. So I think it's continuous is okay, and go to the values. Change the font, increase the size a little bit, and change the color to this blue. Okay, done. Let's make it a little bit bold, and display units is okay. Let's go to the title. I don't need the title. Let's switch off the title and move ahead. Go to the y-axis and go to the values, and in the values change the format to here and increase the size to, let's say, 12. Make it bold. Change the color to this blue, and okay. And title, let's see if we have kept the title. No, we haven't kept the title. Let's switch off the title as well. That's it. Let's go to grid lines. Switch off the grid lines because we will be removing the background as well. So we don't want any background grid lines. And change the line type to, okay, let's keep the line type to solid, and change the joint type to bevel. Change the interpolation type to smooth. Okay, so now that we have created the line chart, I want to mention here that if you can see that between 1995 to 2010, there are not many vehicles or EV vehicles sold. So if you can see that in 2003, there are total one vehicles has been sold. In 2002, only eight vehicles has been sold. So there is no point in showing all these time periods when there are not any vehicles which have been sold in this time period. So what I will do is change the x-axis a little bit, go to the x-axis, and I will change the range. So for range, I will want to show it from 2010 to maximum. Let's say 2024, but the data is not available for 2024 as well. So I'll just change the maximum to 2023. Okay, so this is done. Now it's looking good. It's showing all the relevant time period and the sale quantity of each. So I think it is done. Let's move ahead. So we were at the lines, and we are done with the lines as well. Let's see color is fine, color is the same. And shade area, now we will switch on the shade area, and we will change the color as well. So for this color I will choose a bit greenish type of color, and let's choose this one a little darker. Yeah, this is okay. Let's reduce the transparency to 50%, and we are done. So next thing I want to do is switch on the markers. This will show us of which this will give us a marker on each data points, and it will be easier for us to see. And shape is done. Okay, now let's change the color to green as well. No, it's not. Okay, let's go ahead and change the color as well. Okay, this is fine. Let's just increase the size a little bit. Okay, so now it is visible. Data label should be off. Series label is also off. I don't need the series label. Let's go ahead to general and format a title. So title is fine, but just let's make the title to uppercase. Model year. Change the font. Keep it bold. Change the text color to this blue and make it horizontal. Being said that, I forgot to do horizontal alignment for this as well. So let's do it right now. Okay, let's go move ahead with our line chart formatting. I don't need subtitle. Let's go head over to effects, switch off the background and switch on the visual border. Change the visual border color to this blue. Rounded corners is 10 pixels. Width is fine. Let's see if it works. Yes, it's working. Now let's move ahead. Now we will switch on the shadow and give it a color, this color, and we are done. Okay, so we have created the line chart as well. I think it's fine. Let's create more charts and see whether we need to adjust the size of this line chart in the future. So for the next chart, we will do this funnel chart displaying total vehicles by make. So to do the funnel chart, we will select this funnel chart option and populate it with the values. Now in the funnel chart, we have to add the category. Now in category, we will add the make option. Let's export make, and in values, we will add the total vehicle. Okay. You can see the funnel chart is created. It is showing all the make and the total sales of, or the total number of vehicles sold of each make. Now this is a very big funnel chart, and we don't have so much space to display all. Anyway, after at this point, we can see that there are only 229 or less number of vehicles sold of each of these makes. So we don't need to show all of this. I will just show the top 10. So this is a very important thing or important filter to add in your data visualization. And let's see how we can do top n in Power BI. So to make top n, let's go to the filter option available here, go to make and expand or collapse the filter card. So now here you can see the filter type, select the top n from here and show item top, and let's write 10. Next we have to add the data value, which is nothing but the total vehicles. Let's add those and apply filter. And you can see that we have created the top n. You can show it as a funnel chart, but I don't think it is suitable because Tesla is obviously having the most amount of sales. So let's change the chart type to clustered bar chart, which is much more feasible for us. So this way we can show the sales of the EV vehicles by their make. So the our funnel chart is done. The only thing that is left is to do some formatting. Let's head over and do some formatting. So let's go to y-axis, and I want the values on. Let's change the font, increase the size to say 12 and change the color to blue. Reduce the maximum width to say 15% is too less, 25% is okay. Now let's go ahead to the title, and I don't want the title because it is known what we are displaying. So and go to layout, change the or let it be, let the layout be. Let's go to x-axis, and in x-axis go to values. Let's switch off the values here. Okay, so in values, let's change the font to this, increase the size a little bit and change the color to this blue. So we are done. Now I don't want the title as it is understood by the main title. Okay, let's go to grid lines and switch off the grid lines as well. Okay, let's go to bars, and for the bars I think we have the color okay, and let's give some border to the bars as well. Now let's give it some color. Let's say this color, it will give a depth to the bars as well, and increase the width of the borders as well. So data labels you can switch on. Let the data labels is switched on. Let's do some formatting for the data labels as well. Okay, so go to the values. Let's change the font for the values as well. Increase the size a little bit and change the color to this blue. Okay, display units is in 1000 is fine with me. And we are done with this. Let's head over to the general and go to edit the titles. Title is fine. I will just change it to uppercase. Go to font and change the font and change the text color to blue. Make it a center alignment and make it bold. Okay, rest is fine. Let's head over to effects, switch off the background, turn on the visual border, change the color to this blue, rounded corners to 10 pixels, and turn on the shadow as well. Change the color of the shadow to this, and we are done. So we have successfully created our clustered bar chart as well, displaying the total vehicles by make, displaying only the top 10 of the EV vehicles. So here this chart is also showing how much of total vehicles each make or the each of the company is selling in the market. So this is done. Let's just increase the size of this chart a little bit to match the chart of a clustered bar chart. So I think it is done. Let's head over to make our last chart, which is a table chart displaying the model, make, EV type, and total vehicles. Now in EV type, we have EV type alias as well. So this is similar to when we did the CAFV alias. So let's create the EV alias as well. Let's check out the data set and see what we have to do. So there are two types of EV vehicles: battery electric vehicles BEV or plug-in hybrid electric vehicles or PHEV. So what we will do is just change battery electric vehicle to BEV and plug-in hybrid electric vehicle to PHEV. Let's go ahead and write our DAX calculation. Right click, go to new column, and in this new column we will write our DAX calculation. Now in this we will write EV type alias. Now EV type alias equals to switch. Now expression is electric vehicle electric vehicle type, comma. Now we will go to our Excel sheet, copy this, paste it in the inverted commas, and then comma, then assign the value that it, or assign the alias, which will be BEV. Then comma, give the second value, which is PHEV, and then assign the alias PHEV, and rest is else, electric vehicle type. So we have written the DAX calculation for this as well. If you want, you can pause the video at this point of time and copy this. I'll just hit commit and create the EV type alias. So as you can see, EV type alias has been created. Let's head over to create the table chart. So in table chart, I will add columns. So in columns, we have to add model, make, and EV type. So let's start with model, then select the make and select the EV type as well. This is done. I think it needs a little bit more space here. Okay, now one more thing that we have to add is the total vehicles. Okay, I'm sorry, I made a little mistake here. So instead of this, we will add electric vehicle type. So this was a very silly mistake on my. Okay, so we are done with the table chart as well. Okay, so we have added the values, and we will just format the values as well. Okay, so as you can see, it is showing all the model, make, and total vehicles that were sold. So on the top is Tesla. Top two models are Tesla. Model is Model Y and Model 3, selling more than 28,000 and 27,000 units. So let's go ahead and do some formatting. Let's start with style preset. Let's go to grid. Horizontal grid is off. Vertical grid is off. Let's go to borders. Border position top is fine. Border color is, let's say, black or white, because the background is black, so it won't work. Let's go to values and change the font of the values to this. Change the size to 12 and change the text color to this blue. Background color, change the alternate color to blue as well, so everything is of the same color. Column headers, change the column headers to the font, increase the size to 12. Then text color is this, and center alignment. Go to options, not needed. Let's go to totals and switch off the totals. I don't want the totals here, and specific columns are okay, cell elements are okay. Let's go to general and go to effects, switch off the background, switch on the visual border, change the color of the border to this, rounded corners to 10 pixels. Then go to shadows, switch on the shadows, change the shadow color to this, and move ahead. Okay, so we are almost done with this, and no more formatting is needed for this. So the only thing is required is to adjust the size of the charts here. So let's reduce the size of this chart a little bit. Let's change this. Okay, and we are done. Okay, so I think we are done with our charts as well. Here you can see the whole table is present. You can either increase or decrease the size from here. Okay, so we are done with the formatting, almost done with our dashboard creation. So the only thing that is left are to add the slicers and this futuristic looking EV car. So to add the slicers, we have the slicer option here. Sorry, we have the slicer option here. So let's see and add the slicers here. Now in the slicer, we will add the field. So the first slicer is, EV type. So let's go ahead. Let's add the EV type alias to the field. And we have two options, BEV and PHEV. Let's go to formatting, slicer settings, vertical list or drop down. Let's select the drop down and selection. multi select with, either you can do multi select or you can do single select. So instead of single select, I will select multi select, and I will also select the select all options. So what this will do is when you click on this, it will give you three options. Either you can select the BEV, or you can select the PEV, or you can select all. Okay, it is done. Slicer header is on. Let's change the slicer header to just EV type. Okay, let's change the font to this, increase the size a little bit, or let's just keep it to 12, keep it bold, and change the font color to this. Okay, it's done. Background is off, border I don't need, and go to values. Change the values to the, change the format of the value, font of the values as well. Keep it bold and change the font color to blue. So padding is not required. Let's head over to general. Now in general, title is off. Let's go to effects, switch off the background, and switch on the visual borders. Change the color to this blue, increase the rounded corners to 10, and switch on the shadow. Change the shadow to this color, and we are done with our EV slicer as well. Okay, so let's just place it nice and clean here, and we will head over to make the next, which is the make. So to do that, we will not create another slicer from scratch. We will just copy and paste it here and just change the details. So to change the detail, first thing that we have to do is delete field type from here, and we will add the make slicer here. So that is done, and the only thing that is required for us to change the title. So go to slicer header and change it to make. That's it. And once you do that, you can see the make slicer is also done. So let's increase the size a little bit so that all the columns are visible. Alfa Romeo, Audi, BMW, Cadillac, Chevrolet. Okay, so it's readable, and we have to move on to our next chart. So I don't think it will be, we can fit all this here. So let's make the, okay, so here we can fit the last slicer. So our last slicer is CAFV. So let's just copy and paste it here, and change the field from make to CAFV alias. Okay, so we have done the changes. So let's change the slicer header as well. Change it to CAFB and click on OK. So we are done with the slicers as well. Let's see if it's working. So once you select on CFB, CFB eligible, CFB not eligible, and CFB unknown, along with select all. So right now what I'm doing is making some space for our CFB because all of the options are not readily readable. So now it is okay. We have done with our formatting and addition of the charts. So let's move ahead and add our last picture, which will show us a futuristic looking EV vehicle. So to insert the picture, let's go ahead and go to insert option here, click on image, and we will insert this picture here. Let's, okay, this is, we have to reduce this a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we have added the picture here. Let's do some formatting. Go to style and scaling to fit. Okay, let's go to action. We don't want any action here. Let's go to general, no title, go to effects. Visual border is on. Change the visual border color to this blue. Rounded corner to 10 pixels, and shadow is switch on. Change the color of the shadow to this color, and we are done. So we are done with our dashboard creation of electric vehicle data analysis, and this dashboard is showing all the important charts like total vehicles of by CFB, total vehicles of each state, total vehicles by model year, total vehicles by make, and tables showing model, make, EV type, and total vehicles. So lastly, I want to emphasize that Power BI is all about formatting. So you know data analysis, you know what data is important. Only you have to experiment with your formatting. Don't limit your imagination. You can experiment with all of the formattings available here. And if you are still watching, I think you like the video, so hit that like button. And all the materials required for this are available in the description, so check out the description. And if you want, you can follow along through with my video. And if you like, or if you have any questions about the video, just comment on the comment below. And please subscribe for more contents like this. So go ahead and make this amazing dashboard yourself and enjoy. Thank you.